we know that the Georgia national championship experience has been something that's very real. The fact that that's gone is amazing. The fact that Stetson Bennett IV is the one who ended it. And with that touchdown pass to Mitchell, too, as like an emphatic final statement, I am not going to create a Disney Rudy like movie, but damn, it doesn't feel like we got a Disney Rudy like movie coming up in what, like 20 years or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Could you write a better script for Kirby Smart to end the saving curse by being like more defensive of a coach? And guess what? We're going to win this thing with 2 go get it balls, 2 PIs, an explosive run from Dalvin Cook's little brother, James Cook, and hellacious defense.
I mean, what is it like? AJ with better wheels? Like, I mean, he just sat there. He said, he's like, I know what a national championship winning quarterback looks like. We can go out there and get it done. But I mean, he like fantastic. And when you had you already talked about the fumble and like battle catching it going out of bounds, because that felt like some Georgia football in the bad way kind of karma. That felt like the the off chances that are Brian Branch is a sophomore, right?
Because they played with nickel last year, right?
Okay, like the off chance that he is casually like pulling that ball in as his foot steps an inch from being out of bounds, and that thing turns into a fumble and an Alabama recovery. At that moment, you thought that you were in the midst for another Georgia heartbreak.
Yeah. Because I thought Alabama should have gone for it on the previous drive.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, without Williamson, there's no real guarantee that you're going to get back down there to kick another field goal. And then I was a dumbass because immediately they were right down there again. I was like, well, okay, fine. Stetson Bennett just going to do walk-on stuff. And man, they got it done. That was very impressive by Georgia's offense that they were able to come back down late. I will say their defense kept them in that game for a long time. Bama had
Alabama's defense played great.
Yeah. Both of them, I thought played super, super good. And both created a ton of pressure. I mean, Georgia had 5 sacks? Or Bama had 5 sacks. Georgia had a good number of sacks. The other key difference I thought tonight was they did get Bryce Young on the ground more, but they created more throwaways. Didn't it feel like there were a number of times where Bryce was like, damn it, nobody's open. Like, he's chucking the ball into the crowd, In the first game, I felt like he didn't throw the ball away as much. He found somebody, and tonight they got quicker pressure on him. They really forced him to be uncomfortable. When he sidestepped it, they had a second guy on him. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, if you guys are doing home field promo code cover3. That's right.
I thought that they're the plays that should have gone longer, like everything along the way in terms of the absent. Again, like I'm caught in this like weird space where I very much want to celebrate and enjoy and live the Georgia fan experience, because guess what? That's what we get to do. You know what true non-biased college football analysis is? We get to enjoy all of your celebrations. Doesn't matter who wins, we get to enjoy it. And I want to be in that Georgia place. But I thought that some of those screen passes, some of that perimeter play, some of the quick game, some of the stuff that was working really well in the SEC championship game when you had both Jameson Williams and John Mechie on the field, it was just executed better, just all along the way. A lot of like second down throws that probably should have gone for 5 or 6 yards. They only went for 1 or 2. And that's where I kind of felt like I saw things really pile up for the throwaways, to your point, where the easy plays all of a sudden weren't easy, and then everything else just started to compile. I mean, Bryce Young throws the ball 57 times in this game for 369 yards. He threw it for 421 in the SEC championship game, and we talked about it being like some historic performance. 369 to 421 is not that different, but the difference, of course, being the 2 interceptions and the fact that 35 for 57, the completion percentage just at 61%, far below his average on the season. Not far below, but below his average on the season. And, very much a point in terms of Alabama not being able to run the ball consistently. And like I said, the short plays that should have been your extension of the run game, which was a big part of the game plan in the SEC championship game, none of that was hitting for the kind of success rate that you wanted.
Yeah. So Bryce Young tonight, according to our friends at GameOnPaper.com, 42% success rate, negative 0.74 EPA per play. So even though I thought Bryce played really hard, not an efficient game from him. Really not an efficient game at all from Brian Robinson Jr. on the ground. Now, he actually was pretty effective through the air when they threw the ball to Robinson, but you're rarely going to lose the game on passes to a running back, right? It's like, okay, take advantage of it when it's there, but it's not really it's kind of almost a constraint play, if you will. Like if they're going to give it to you, you have to take it, but it's probably not your game plan. Like we're going to beat you with passes to the back. It usually doesn't happen. By the way, hey, our prop on Robinson under hit.
For under passing yards?
No, under rushing yards.
Oh,
if you bet it when we told you to bet it. Under 85.5, he only had 68. If you went to the other site when they had 64, he lost. He had 68. We took it under 85.5. So negative 1.8 EPA per play, only a 32% success rate. So basically, every time they gave the ball to Robinson, it was advantage Georgia on the night. Even though he ran hard, even though he had a couple of good runs, on average, when they gave the ball to him, they were backing themselves up. I'm sure Georgia, if you could play this thing again, they're like, please run the ball against us 22 times. We love this.
Yeah.
We eat it up. Please keep running the ball against us.
Right. And great. Those runs, came with some like, ooh, especially off of the Cincinnati game. I think if Brian Robinson does not run for 204 against Cincinnati, my brain probably isn't as like, ooh, maybe this is going to be a difference, because Alabama didn't even try to make that a major factor here.
Coconuts are really good, by the way, in the private chat right now. He noted two things. Keely Ringo hawking down Cam Latu on the broken play and Bama having to settle for a field goal is massive. Now, granted, you're a corner at Georgia. I expect you to chase down a tight end. Like, that's part of the scholarship, bro. But good job for doing it.
Throw that with the pick six, and that's a phenomenal game. And like Chris Smith has the bad throw, busted play. He gets that pick too. Georgia secondary in general, big time game ball, without a doubt.
Yeah. The other one, Bryce Young, 4 of 14 on passes of 15 plus yards, 0 for 7 on passes to the right of 15 plus yards. Kind of interesting note.
Does Georgia play boundary and corner? Or does Georgia play left and right?
No, they play boundary and field. Typically.
Oh yeah, boundary and field. Yeah. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah.
You've been hanging out.
I know what you meant.
Hey, you've been hanging out with coaches.
Hey man, we got some guests, dude. Like I'm.
Were you watching?
I'm not ripping shots at these guys for fun. Like you guys, we got some good guests coming up here. This is gonna be a fun time on the Cover 3 podcast.
Were you watching the game with coaches? Like, what was the you don't have to put anything to any names, but like, what were some of the observations that stood out to you?
So, Tom was actually right about how much single high they were playing in this game. I thought they were going to just try to play more conservatively and win red zone roulette. And we kind of split the baby here, because I was right that they were trying to deny the explosive play, but I thought they played more 3 early than some of that 2 shell stuff. Like they would be in 2 and then they would roll it down and they would play some more cover 3 stuff. Bama, it almost felt like Georgia didn't respect Bama's play action game that much. And they're just like, whatever, like we're not really going to care about that at all. Interesting question. If those receivers could catch a pass, does that change your opinion on the defensive backs?
No, I thought they still played well. I mean, like the pass breakups that they had, even like some of those were defensive back making a play, getting that other arm around to be able to bat the pass around. Like we're talking about elite athletes all across the board. So, would Jamison Williams or John Mechie have had stronger hands in that moment? Maybe, but I think that in the moment of competition, we have to respect competition and the fact that the DB made the play.
I mean, isn't this part of the point, though, of the analysis? Like, we talked about this. Do you trust Bama's young guys to consistently play? I think we said this literally word for word. I trust Bama's young guys to be explosive. I don't trust them to be consistent if Georgia makes them be so. That's part of the game plan. I guarantee you Georgia thought about that going in. Like, do I think Corey Brooks can be explosive? Yeah. Do I think he's going to be super consistent as an 18? Or, well, I guess he's probably 19. I think he was probably age over level. But no, I don't. He's a freshman. And for every Devontae Smith who catches the winning touchdown in the national title game, even at Bama, even at Georgia, true freshmen are going to play like true freshmen, guys. It's hard to lose. There's a reason they went out and got Williams in the portal to start. You know, Mechie last year on this team was the number 3, right? Because they had Jalen and they had Devontae.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden you're like, all right, Mechie's their number 1. Okay, is he? I mean, for a lot of teams, they'd be very excited to have him as the number 1. Like he's a fine one at Bama. They go out and get Williams. I think they got more than they bargained for in the portal for him in a positive way. But after that, there's a drop off, and when those guys go down, Georgia's like, okay, we'll take this. You know.
All right.